Hello and welcome to Sax Comprehensive. My name is Ken Gowdy, and in this video we'll talk about transcribing your first saxophone solo the easy way using Adobe Audition. So stay tuned. First, get the audio of the saxophone music that you want to transcribe. If it's online, you can use the free Windows voice recorder app or use the free Windows video screen recorder app. Once you have the audio file, then you can put it into Adobe Audition or any other software that has a spectrum analyzer function. The audio may look like a waveform first, but if using Adobe Audition, go to View and turn on the Show Spectrum Pitch Display function, which will show the music according to the pitches of the notes. The display can be made bigger by using these controls to make it easier to see, and the notes are then simply read off the side of the display. However, these notes will be in concert pitch, that is, they are the notes heard coming out of the saxophone. We do not want to write down these notes, but the notes we need to finger in order to produce these notes, because as we are aware, the saxophone is a transposing instrument. So we can transpose the audio so that the notes that we read of the display will be the notes appropriate for playing our instrument. We do this by going to Effects, Time and Pitch, and then Stretch and Pitch Process. Then we keep the stretch at 100%, but we change the pitch to -3 semitones for the alto saxophone. It will take some time to convert the audio depending on how long the audio is. Then now all that we need to do is to watch the display when the saxophone plays and simply write down the notes from the side of the display, which gives us an easy way to transcribe. So what are some of the problems that we may face when transcribing with Adobe Audition? Well, you may find that some of the notes are not shown on the display. Some of the notes are missing, especially on those fast passages or where the pitches are not very clear. So you're going to have to work out some of the notes. But obviously, it's a lot easier to work out the notes that are missing than trying to work out all of the notes from scratch, since some of the notes will be displayed, or majority of the notes will be displayed. The other thing that you will find that maybe 1 or 2 notes are shown in the wrong octave, but again, when you play back the music, you'll be able to identify those notes and put them in the correct octave. The last thing you may find is that if you've got some other instruments playing which are just as loud as the saxophone solo, then those notes will be recorded on the display. So you're going to have to pay particular attention when listening to the audio of the saxophone playing and watching the display to identify when the saxophone is playing and when the notes of these other instruments are being recorded on the display, because you don't want to write down those notes. Here is a transcription which I did using Adobe Audition. It's from a saxophone player called Jesse Boyce II, and he has covered some gospel songs. This particular is a well-known gospel song called I Love You Lord Today. And I've written it out according to the notes rather than on sheet music, because some of you don't know how to play by sheet music. And I've also color coded it. So if it's in red, it means use the octave key. If it's in black, don't use the octave key. If the notes are in small font, it means it's a grace note. Or if the notes are together and they're all small, it means play those notes quickly together. I've also spaced out the notes, which might help you to remember the rhythm as you play this music.